Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Day 5.
Day 5.
Of week 5.
Week 5. We are so far into the Omer.
We're doing really well.
We're doing really good.
Yeah.
But we're humble about it.
We're very humble about it. It is merely by the grace of God that we have actually been able to do this.
Yeah.
In truth.
Like scheduling and traffic and whatever. It's all... It's like none of these things you can control yourself.
It's true.
And if stuff can't be controlled by you, then it's up to other people / where those people get their ideas from.
True.
I don't know.
And also, there's been a lot of endurance involved. But
yeah,
we're on Hod. We're on humility. Discipline.
Compassion with ourselves.
Yeah.
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 We could be wearing different outfits every day for every day.
Oh no.
But that's,
no, we couldn't.
This is us being compassionate to ourselves. That's a lot of time and effort.
That is.
And
it's a lot of time and effort.
Don't have to do it.
No. But anyhow, we are in Hod of Hod. Examine the humility of humility.
Oh.
Everyone has humility and modesty in their hearts. The question is the measure and manner in which one consciously feels it. Am I afraid to be too humble?
A little bit, I guess, because I've been there before, where like to the self-debasing thing, as we've been talking about a lot this week. So, but I guess I'm not afraid. But yeah, I wouldn't want to regress to that.
Yeah, there's this. You don't want to lose what you've built.
Yeah.
There's this. Yeah, I mean, I have the same situation. So I've been through a lot of like doctor's appointments, and I've had to be really humble in those doctor's appointments because I have to be humble enough to like pump up their ego enough that they're going to help me, which is really awful. But that's very much the experience that I've had. To the point where I'm literally like, well, I don't know really too much about this, but you know, I know that you have all this experience in treating this kind of thing, and like, do you think that maybe it could be this? And that's self-debasing. That's not humility. But I've had to do that in order to get my needs met.
Yeah, see, like I've done that before too, with with emails to certain people that are in authority, where I fake like the fake humble thing, just the same as like the fake humble laugh. It's something that I'll do to appear more humble, because it happened like just this week where somebody was asking, well, do you have like an actual file of this video, or is it only on YouTube? And I was like, I know that there exists things where you can get things off of YouTube, like somewhat illegally. And I said that basically because I was like, I don't want to make this parent mad. So I was like, well, I know there's ways to get videos off of YouTube, but I'm copying in the communications director just to see if he knows anything more. As far as I understand, we don't have a file for it. And just to be like somewhat even instant, when I really want to say is, no, we don't have the file for it. You're going to have to like go get it from YouTube yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right. Do I mask and protect my modesty with aggressive behavior?
Mask and protect my modesty.
So if I'm afraid that I'm being put in a position where I'm too humble, do I act aggressively so that I'm no longer in that position?
No, I've never done that, but I can see how that would be a thing with some people.
It's something that I witness with my students a lot. When they don't know the answer to something, they will try and distract by being aggressive or funny or something, so that they don't have to answer the question anymore. Like they get the ability to not answer the question. So especially with like reading, if I have them read something and they can't quite read it, they'll throw a fit or do something else so that they don't have to read it. And I'm just like, that's a lot of extra work. Instead, just be like, I'm having trouble reading the sentence. And then I can help you.
I know, yeah, like that when I was teaching English in France, like sometimes I'd be like, okay, you next, and they'd be like, no, not me, I'm not good at English. And I'm like, but we're here in class to practice. That's the whole reason. Like, and it was just so weird to me that I know, like I would talk to them multiple times, like, you have to make mistakes. You hear me make mistakes in French all the time, and like sometimes they're just so afraid.
Yeah, there is that fear of being humbled for sure. Like, people are afraid of that. I mean...
Yeah, it's kind of sad. It really is.
Learn to cultivate your humility by interacting with people who are more refined than yourself, evoking in you modesty and humility that motivates you to grow. This is this iron sharpens iron kind of thing.
Wait, say that again?
So, the iron sharpens iron thing. So this
Iron
sharpens iron. So this idea that we like come up against somebody who's good, and we are also good, and so we get better together.
Yeah.
This idea that like I'm not only interacting with people who are not as good at things as I am, or I'm interacting with people who are better at things than I am too, because it'll make me better.
Yeah, just the same as like I was talking about with the musicians and everyone coming from high school to college. Now there's a bunch of good people in one place. Or I think about too, just like that image of the big fish in a small pond, and it's like if you've outgrown your pond, now come to a place where you are the one fish in a large pond, and you're not necessarily a big one, you're just a fish. And I don't know, you could eat the other fish, I guess, and get bigger. Like you can work together and fight off predators.
Yeah,
like that. Like
fight off big predator fish.
Yeah, like you do need other people. I don't like how they use the word refined, but I mean, I guess if you think about refined metal, just if we're going to continue with metal, like
let's do that.
The refine, you do have to refine a talent. Like you can, there is such a thing as raw talent, and then you do have to like hone it, and so then it is refined if we can, if we use the metal terminology,
or like practiced.
And,
I like to say practiced.
Yeah, well, that makes sense for like acting and music and stuff, but. Just going, as we were following the metal analogy.
No, I like your metal analogy.
Hone or refine, it works either way, but like, find people that are better than you. Like, I don't know, I moved to Los Angeles to make it in voiceover, and so I haven't made it where I want yet, but I am around lots of people who are really good, and so like listening to them and being like, oh, I never thought about making a character be silly like that, or I don't know, something like that, and you learn from them. Even while competing with them.
For sure. Humility must also be examined for its genuineness. Is my humility humble? Like, am I trying to just be so humble? And I'm like, oh, I'm so good at my humility.
Yeah, you can be like, I'm so humble. Like, I opened a door for like 16 people the other day.
Yeah. Like, yay me. I'm the most humble.
Yeah.
Then, maybe you're not.
I don't know. I think I'm overall, yes, but like, there are those times when I slip into the fake humility just for the sake, like you mentioned with the doctors, like for the sake of moving things forward.
Yes.
And then I feel like I really am in control, like even though I'm making them. But there's also too like the Napoleon Hill, I think, or is Dale Carnegie, I forget which one. I think it's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yes.
One of the steps that they talk about is make people. I think it was in this book, make people think the idea was theirs.
Yes.
And then, like, this is one way to really get people, like, to appreciate you or to feel good about themselves, even though you're like, yeah, I'm the one that suggested it. And so, it's like, you really are the one pulling the strings. Is that humble? I don't know.
That's not humility. Like, if you're pulling the strings... Well, so that's the next question is, do I have expectations due to my humility? Like, am I expecting them to go along with it because I so humbly said to them, do this thing?
I'm like wondering, is there anything wrong with that? Like,
well, I just don't think that's humility. Like,
no.
I think when you're in a situation where that's required, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're dealing with like pride and arrogance and stuff like that, or you're dealing with somebody who's like more narcissistic.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with resorting to that, but I'm not going to call that humility. I think I call that my fake humility.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just like you need this thing to get done.
Right.
And so it's not going to get done because this one person is in charge and they have to do it, and so you got to make them amenable to you.
Yeah.
And that's just so funny.
Yep.
I like that.
All right. Exercise for the day.
Okay.
Be humble just for its own sake.
What would that look like?
Yeah.
Just doing things like, oh, I'm gonna open the door, I'm gonna smile at this person, even though, like, I guess it's just doing stuff, and I don't know, like that would be kind of hard, without having the fake it till you make it kind of mentality or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess
just
focus on what comes naturally.
Yeah, just focus on the act of being humble and not the result of the humility.
But I think you'd have to define that for yourself. What does that look like? Does that look like opening doors? Does that look like running across the whole courtyard just to open a door? Like, probably not, but
no.
I don't know, something like that. So think about what that means to you. What it means to me would be like, just, I guess, talking to people more, smiling at people more, if I can, allowing other people to answer instead of Because like so often in class, like in high school, middle school, I already knew the answer, and I'd get so tired of waiting for other people. Like I'd try not to be the teacher's pet, but so it's like teacher asks a question, I'm like, okay, no one's answering. Okay, like
you get frustrated.
I know, because I just want class to keep moving for my sake, because I want to learn. But so it's like I guess if I don't know what to think of as an adult equivalent, but one thing I can do is wait longer for people to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Cool.
Hod of Hod. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.